just do. All right. Hello, hello. Happy, is it Wednesday? Y'all, it has been so crazy ever since we got back from Palooza and so many things coming from Lavelle and just the corporate call and this awesome promo. Don't forget that Build a Bundle ends tonight. People are hitting bonuses like crazy today. My phone is on fire. I have people that have not been promoting in a while, probably not thrived in a hot minute, that are messaging, okay, how do I do this? I want to get back on my Thrive. What a great deal. I have people that have not said yes to me yet, messaging me, how do I get involved? This sounds like a great deal. Got off the phone with one guys, I need you to hear this. Got off the phone with one today that she said, she messaged me when we got back from Palooza. Hey, I want to chat with you when you have a minute. I was like, sure, what's up? I want to just chat about your product and your business. And I was like, absolutely. Okay. So we're talking today and she's like, I mean, I see, y'all post about it all the time and I see your success and yada, yada. And it's all right. Well, let's talk about what do you know about Thrive? And she said, well, I only know what you post. And honestly, you're the only friend I have that I know that thrives. Y'all. Okay. First of all, we have mutual friends. And second of all, that is an amazing thing because how many people does she know that don't know about Thrive? Because I'm the only person that she knows that knows about Thrive. So, hello, I'm mind blown. So, because I wanted to say that because I know that everybody thinks, well, everybody knows about Thrive and everybody already thrives. No, they don't. All right. So, we're going to kick this off. I love these ladies, y'all. I loved being at Palooza, getting into the breakout sessions, but here's the deal. We couldn't go to all of them. So I really wanted these ladies to bring to us their tips and tricks that they learned, what stood out to them. If you went to a breakout session, tell us which ones you loved and what you brought back from it. If you didn't go to a breakout session, just tell us what you brought back from Palooza. So I didn't even give them an order. So I'm just going to throw Carol under the bus first because I know she can go with this spur of the moment. Carol, go ahead and tell us how long you've been thriving and then just share with us how this Palooza was for you and some breakout sessions, who you saw and what you loved.
So, hi everybody, I'm Carol Lawson, and I've been thriving for 9 years in February. So, I've been doing this a long time, and I didn't sign up like most people. I didn't start Thrive to promote. I started because my friend told me that I would really benefit from this. She was in her VIP. I helped her hit a bonus, so I signed up as a promoter, and it's really changed my life. But this is I missed one Palooza because I had the dreaded illness we all had a few years ago. And then of course, besides the one that we just didn't have, I've been to every one of them since I started. And so it's I've seen a lot of them. I've been through a lot of them. And the excitement is the same when you go. You just to be in the room with so many people that are like-minded, because if you guys have been here a minute, or maybe you've not been here that long, this gets in your head a lot when you are sharing the product. Maybe no one is responding, or you're not having any new customers, or maybe promoters on your team aren't really that excited. Whatever the case is, you need to go and get your cup filled up, and that's the reason I go, because I of course want my team to be there. And thankfully this year, Stacy and Danielle both were brand new as their very first Palooza, and Danielle's been thriving a long time. Stacy's been thriving a year, and she also got an award. Stacy did, so I'm so proud of her. Yay, y'all! Shout out, Stacy. But I just wanted to first say to everybody, if you made it, yay, good for you. And if you didn't, try to start saving now to put just a little bit of money away each week to make this happen, because it comes around every year, typically April. And you don't want to have that FOMO, because there's some real FOMO going on if you miss it. So for me to get into the breakouts, I went to a few. I went to the one Amber was doing with Make Sales Great Again. I thought that was awesome, by the way. Of course, Amber won the little challenge. Of course she did. And because she's so freaking bubbly and just she's great, of course. Um, but
Can we talk
so
about the
that
fact that I started that by falling
oh yes, she
up
did fall on her
onto the
face. That was
stage?
kind of yes, I forgot about that. She did straight up fell right on her face. No lie.
Mhm.
But she jumped up just like a pro. Was like, okay. But she is great, of course, and they were great. So,
Mhm.
Amber, you can share with it because I don't exactly remember, but if you follow them on Instagram, they have some great stuff, and I don't know if I have some slides from that, but anyway, they had great information. So we definitely should follow those people. Make Sales Great Again. They're on Instagram, and so I'd recommend following those guys. Um, but the one that really stood out to me as far as breakouts was 20, I think is how you say his name, 20 Beckham. He played basketball. Pam could say this better. She was so excited to see him. We didn't know really what we were walking into, but he had a lot of adversity. He was a basketball player for Kentucky, University of Kentucky, whatever. I don't know. University of Kentucky. Pam's probably laughing at me right now. But he had a lot of adversity, and so he really stood out to me. And I wrote his name down and took a few notes on what I wanted to just share about was he talked about the keys to your championship run. He of course goes back to sports. So he said for the keys to his championship is first you got to figure out what, why, and what are your actions to get there. So you need to know what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, and are you on track to do it. And I think when we get here, I know for me when I started promoting, I just told everybody what I loved about it. I don't know. I was very Pamela. I'm certain I just, on Facebook, social media, but I knew what I was going to do. I was going to tell people about Thrive. I was not going to shut up about it. And why? Because it made me feel amazing. And I knew other people needed to feel amazing too. The financial promoter part of that came later because I didn't start for that reason. But our goals change. And then you got to take action. You have to take action. And that's what he really talked about. And stay true to your foundation, which is why. Stay true to why you're doing what you're doing and sacrifice. And that's something I wanted to just touch on is sacrifice. I've been doing this a long time, 9 years. And through the years, I've heard a lot of things. I didn't know the world of network marketing or direct sales. I had no idea what I was getting into, never done it before. And I've seen a lot of people say things like, oh, I would never sacrifice this to do that. Or I'm not going to sacrifice such and such for this. Well, I don't know if people just don't think about it, but we all sacrifice something to get what we want. You're sacrificing 8 to 10 hours a day if you go to a job and you go to work every day. You're sacrificing that time away from your family, whatever that is, because you have to work. So, yes, there's a sacrifice. It's the same thing doing what we do here. You get to choose what you sacrifice for sure. A little more freedom there, absolutely. But it's going to take some sacrifices. It's going to take all out action if you want to grow, depending on what your goals are. And we all have different goals. Yours aren't mine aren't yours. So yes, you're going to have to sacrifice some things. That's not a bad thing. We all sacrifice things. And I'm sure Stacy can talk about sacrifice when she shares because she is big into fitness. She is big into eating a certain way. She makes sacrifices. She sacrifices pizza for, I don't know, chicken. So that's just how it is. We all sacrifice. It blows my mind when people say, well, I'm never going to do that because I'm not going to sacrifice. Okay. Well, you won't get very far like that. That's all I'm going to say. You got to sacrifice something, but you get to choose. And that's the biggest thing. You get to choose what's important to you, your kids, your family, whatever that is. But you're going to have to find time to work this business if you want to grow a business. And the opportunity here is massive. It still is. 9 years later, the products still work. 9 years later, I still take them every single day. They've changed my life. I will not stop taking them. And then the growth mindset he talked about. That to me is, I've grown so much over the past 9 years. And some of the ladies on my team that went, we were just chatting. And I'm like, I just gave her a hug and I said, I'm so proud of you because you've changed so much. You've grown so much. She had no idea what it was like when we talk about self love. This community is so big and so huge. And that's such an important piece as well. And that's, I'm getting ahead of myself, but um, the growth mindset, you, you got to learn, you have to grow, and you don't, when we have obstacles and challenges, we all do, we have to learn to overcome them and grow through them. And we've all had them. I've had some that kind of stopped me for a while, and you got to keep going. So he talked about leveraging your strengths. Listen, I know what I'm good at, I know what I'm not good at. So we have to get people around us that are strong in other places that we're not, and build a supportive network. He talked about that in the community, and that is so important. I think probably one of the biggest things that we can do here is the community. And you got to learn to pivot. That doesn't mean you pivot and you go somewhere else, or you pivot and you learn to pivot in what you're doing now. Change, we have to be able to change. Lots of things have changed since I've been here. We have to learn to change with that and face adversity head on. That poor guy had a lot of adversity, and you just got to face it head on. I know sometimes you want to quit. I know you do. We all do. No matter what level you are, no matter what rank you are, everybody, if you haven't thought about quitting, you probably aren't really doing anything much, because it's tough. But learn to rest and not quit. That would be the last thing I would leave you with. And if you don't get to Palooza, if you didn't, you need to go. Save your dollars now. Make it happen. You will not regret it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you so much. And yes, guys, if you've heard anything and all the Zooms are coming out, start saving now. Get to Palooza, right? Like designate a certain account or leave commissions in your in your commission history, like whatever it takes, start saving now. So that you don't miss next year. Like when we say it's so worth it, it's so worth it. I am gonna just jump on over to Stacy, since you and Stacy kind of go in line together. I will say I love what you said about sacrifices, because we do have to make sacrifices. Because I think of it like this, like we make sacrifices in marriage, we make sacrifices in parenting. Why wouldn't we make sacrifices to earn a better income, to create a better lifestyle? Like that, I feel like that's just, it just is, right? Okay, Stacy, we're gonna come right on over to you. And what classes stood out to you? Share with us. I think Carol just said you've been here a year, right? Is it a year?
Yeah, actually, it's a little bit over. So my first order was placed on April 18th of 23,
Okay.
but Carol had given me like 5 weeks before that. So I actually started right at the end of February because she invested in me. And she's like, "Girl, I'm going to give you 30 days." And that was a great example. I just actually have done that recently. Like I had extra product on hand, and I said to a buddy of mine, I'm like, "Listen, he's a veteran. He was struggling." I was like, if you promised me to take this product for 30 days, like it's supposed to be taken, and get off your soda, I know it can help you. Like, can I invest in you? And then like after a week, good or bad, I want your report. And
Right.
today's his third day, and he's like, "Holy cow, man, like I'm actually feeling really great and I'm in a really good mood." And I'm like, because I actually had him go off caffeine a little before he started even. So yeah, so Carol did that for me, and then I said, "Okay, I placed my order, but it's not going to be here for a few days." And then she gave me a couple more days. So yeah, I was really lucky to have her do that. But what a great example for me to have that.
I
But
love
yeah, yeah. Can
go to
can I just
work.
say, can I say how cute Monique's baby is? She's over there feeding her baby. That is so cute. Anyway, I was like watching her. I'm like, oh, because that's just a great thing about this business. Like,
Mhm.
you can do this anywhere, right? Like, it's so cute. It's so convenient, and like you guys work, like Chastity and you, like you're able to travel, and it's really inspiring to see you guys. killing it. And, I'm really happy for you both. Like, you both have infectious, positive attitudes. And it really is to show everybody like what you can do with this company. And I'm fortunate to have Carol on my team, and I'm fortunate that, she is such a genuine human, like in general, and she really knows how to lead, even though sometimes she doubts. She's a great, she does it from her heart, and that's what we all want. And yeah, that makes me emotional because you guys are all really want to see everybody succeed, and it's really, you don't see that a lot from other people wanting to see their teammates. And some of us aren't even on the same team. Like Danielle's on a different like team, whatever. But we want her to be a part of ours because you know we just want to support and we want to see her successful. So I actually have an online business outside of Thrive, and this kind of goes hand in hand with it. But 8 months ago, I decided to transition my personal training business virtually, and I hired some business coaches. And if everybody didn't get to see Gemma, or excuse me, Jerabine, that's her Facebook handle. And so when it comes to, I took her course and I went to her breakout, and it's like my business coach is echoing in my brain, right? Um and so she has a social media. It's called Jera Bean, JERA.BEAN. And so I got to speak with her afterwards, but like she really talked about like how your story is unique, and you are your secret sauce. Your Thrive story is unlike anybody else's. We already know that. It worked, the product works different with everybody, right? And so with her, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Instagram, but you can pin 3 posts on your Instagram, and it should be, who are you? Like who are you? Like the fun you, the silly you, like the what's your story you. There's like different facets of that. And then it's like what do you do, and then how do you do it? So what do you do? Like, I promote a vitamin company, and how do I do it? I do it online. I do it from Palooza. I do it from my home. I do it from while I'm feeding my baby. You know what I mean? That's how I do it. And then like to tell about the product a little bit, so then like you can pin those on your social. So like those are the first things that come up for people. Like that's what they're seeing, right? Because your story is so powerful. And also the fact that this is yeah, on the side of the road. Is that where you're at, Chastity? Like you can do this literally from anywhere. And like, is the business easy? No, it's not easy, but like you just, it's that's just the beauty of being able to work from anywhere. Like it's not easy. And maybe you do have to do an hour every day or 2 hours every day. I know that if I woke up every day and first thing went into my Thrive Cloud and worked my Thrive Cloud like an actual business, I would be above what I'm making in revenue every month. I know there's no doubt in my mind about that. Everybody that's ever made an account, if I reach back out to them and said, hey, I have this promo going on, or hey, I want to invest in you this month, if I legitimately did that, even 1 hour every day, I would be probably at 12K easily. And so she had some really good stuff. But you guys want to check out her content. She actually has a free course. And so her and I were kind of talking about that afterwards for a minute. But yeah, I found that was a really good way, because we are um a marketing network, right? What is it? Multi-level marketing or whatever it is. But like, we are selling our product virtually, right? And so like, you want people to go to your socials, and you want them to see, in your first 3 pins, kind of what you're all about. So whether it's my business, my Thrive business, and they actually go hand in hand really great. I'm most excited. I'm really actually ordered the sports products already. The oxygen enhancer and the new line of sculpt. Like, I'm really excited to see what those do for me. And I'm going to be just not shutting up about them. So pretty excited about that. Everything actually on, from my end, on like a macro standpoint, on the protein powder, everything looks great. The creatine gummies are like so reasonable. You can't even like bat an eye at that price on those creatine gummies. Like, that's basically the market standard price on those. So, Yeah, I think those products will go over really well. So anyway, it was great. And again, like it's nice to get that fire ignited every like 3 or 4 months with the energy, right? And the friendships, like going out with the girls and seeing New Orleans and having, what is it, beignets, whatever we ate. Those things were huge.
Beignets.
That's
Oh
what
my gosh.
we
They're
call them beignottis, by the way. They're
they're
beignottis. That's
so
Southern.
good. They're so good. Little tiny Samantha was, or Savannah was eating hers. It was so, they're so good. They're so good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stacy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Speaking of Savannah, yes, I love your sweet little smile. Okay. Take it away. What was this your first Palooza? Yes. Okay.
Was.
First Palooza, share with us the experience and then any takeaways from breakouts or main stage.
Yeah, so I was supposed to go, I started in March of 2022. So I didn't get to go to the first one. I actually had found out I was pregnant for the first time in like April of that month. So I couldn't make it happen in that amount of time. And then skip to last year, I was 7.5 months pregnant, almost 8 months pregnant. And you can't really go across, I was high risk preeclampsia, could not really go on an airplane to conference, which was unfortunate because I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I really wanted to go home. So I was bummed. So this was my first year. And I have gone to previous conferences for other companies, but this one was absolutely the best trip I've probably ever had. Conference or not, best trip I've probably ever had. The amount of knowledge I brought away from this trip, but also the friendships that I brought away from this trip, like you talk to these people on a daily basis in chats, but actually getting to see them in person and hug them and squeeze them. And Monique and I have been super close friends for about 5 years now, haven't seen each other in probably 4. And to get to hug her and to get to hug the whole team was just amazing. And if you can get to Palooza in any way, shape, or form, absolutely get your butt there. One of my favorite ones that I took like a bunch of notes on was the 10 a.m. one with Seizing the Moment with Kim Collins. And the thing that I really liked about it is she talked about, I'm a very numbers person, and if you give me a goal and you break it down into individual pieces, I'm more than likely going to hit that because I can see it's a very small goal I have to hit each day. It's not this ginormous, huge, scary goal. It's take it day by day. And she broke it down that for May, let's act as if day one, May, in order to hit 4K, 12K, 40, 80, and 200, she broke it down by how much volume you need each day, which I loved because that's easy for me to go and say, okay, I need $129 in sales today to stay on track for 4K. That's easy to do. That's coming from anywhere. That could be you getting a thing of gummies and then maybe somebody underneath you is getting active as a promoter. That's 100 volume right there. It's so easy to think about when it's a smaller amount and you're not having to worry about that big $4,000 amount. And then she talked about, okay, well, 5 capsules at $62, that's $310. Just 5 capsules. Sell 5 capsules and you've got 350 or 310 volume. Let's see, what else did she put in here? Well, that I put in here that she had said. 36 more opportunities to give yourself a raise this year. So 36 more weeks to give yourself, well, 35 now, 35 more weeks to give yourself a raise. I had never thought of it that way because in my corporate job, I can't do that. I don't get the opportunity to do that. But every single week is a new opportunity for you to make a bigger paycheck, for you to get yourself a raise. And what other company allows us to do that? that's just amazing. Let's see. I have to go back through my notes, otherwise I don't remember anything. Thinking on the spot. So I also wanted to look at for myself, she had said to map out the next 12 months and where you will be in 12 months from now at Palooza. Where do you want to be in 12 months from now? First of all, I hope you're there. Please get there. That's the most important part. But is there a specific rank you want to be? Is there a specific goal you want to hit? Do you want to be up on stage accepting an award? Our team was lucky enough, is Sue still in here? Where did Sue go? Sue, I was about to say, where's Sue? I don't see her anymore. Sue won the Greatest of All Thriver award for our team, and it is so deserving, y'all. She is absolutely amazing. Our leader, Katie, also hit the Greatest of All Thriver award as well. And that is a huge goal probably for anyone, right? Like we all want to be up on stage. If that's not a goal, then what are you working towards? Are you working towards wanting to make more money? Are you working towards wanting to stay at home? Look for what you're wanting to work towards by 12 months from now and hit it. Go do it. I don't think Sue probably thought 12 months ago that she would have been up on stage at Palooza accepting an award. But she did. So why can't you? She's got 6 babies, y'all. She's got 6 children. I have 1. There's no way I could do 6 children. She
And
is
she's so cute.
superhuman.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love why can't you? Like, and I think too, envisioning yourself there. And yes, we're gonna hear from Sue on Friday. We have a Friday noon central pop-up. So yes, super, super excited for that. Okay, Danielle, your turn. Okay, when was this wasn't your first Palooza, was it?
It was.
Oh,
It was. It was my first Palooza, and all I have to say is
first timers.
wow. Wow. I had the time of my life. I absolutely did. I shared a room with a great bunch of women and just had the time of my life. Made new friends, just really was in a great place. You know, I felt like I belonged. And that is a great feeling. That is a great feeling. And it knocked me back into why I'm doing this and why I have this passion. And I know that I want to continue not only to thrive, but to help others feel as good as I can and overcome some of the obstacles I've overcome with Thrive. So, little background, I've been thriving for 8 years. In June, kind of just did my thing, Thrive, paid for it for the longest time, just was a promoter, but really didn't work it. And this past, I want to say between July and October, I killed it. Came back, got my 4K, just was having an amazing run at this. And all of a sudden it died. I lost 10 customers in December, and I literally felt defeated. And I knew that if I didn't find somewhere to refill my cup quickly, that I was going to die out. And I was just going to go ahead and let that go. And I went back to Palooza, and by no means am I claiming any medical thing here, but I suffer from fibromyalgia. And there is days that I literally can't get out of bed, or I'm too tired to get out of bed, or my body is exhausted. And Thrive is what gets me up and out of that bed and the courage to face the day. So I continue to keep trudging forward to make sure that I don't get stale. or that I don't fall into that pattern. So the breakout with Jara Bean, your secret sauce, you know, what is that? Who are you? I don't talk a whole lot about my story or my fibromyalgia because I didn't want to be defined by a disability or a disease. And I have to say that 2 things happened to me at Palooza that really opened my eyes. And that one was Travis, first off, because who am I to complain about fibromyalgia when we got a quadruple amputee? And he gets up every day and does what he does with courage. And I honestly brings me to very emotional because I want to be like that. I want to be able to have that courage to face that day, and Thrive helps me do that. And then the other very astounding for me was we were out having dinner Friday night after the masquerade ball, and I went outside to get some fresh air and just kind of soak in everything that was happening. And I sat down next to a couple, and we began talking. They were eating their meal, and I was just sitting there. And we began to talk, and the lady asked me if I was with Thrive, and I had told her yes. So of course they were with Thrive. They're like the OGs. I think they said like 12, 10 or 11, 12 that the powder used to come in little clear plastic bags. So like they're talking old time. And we got to chatting, and she had explained to me how she had been to a couple Thrive Paloozas before, but this one was pretty special to her. And we got to talking, and I found out that this lady was in a wheelchair and a scooter at the other Paloozas. And Thrive helped her lose the weight, but also, and this blew me away, I was sitting next to, and I don't know if you know who they are, but Eric and Pam Knebel or Nebel. They're on Monty, and they were there to accept their $1 million award. And I was blown away because here she was getting to walk across that stage. No scooter, no wheelchair, but Thrive to help her continue to grow. And it's taken her 12 years to get, or 10 years, whatever it was, to get where they are as a couple. But they were accepting that $1 million award. And they taught me something. And that was, Danielle, you don't need to be any important person to do this business. Anybody in this business can be a millionaire. Anybody in this business has a chance to walk across that stage. And there's people out there like I experienced that you'd never even know. And that's what I want to be. I want to be humble, and I want to continue to spread the word about Thrive and continuing to grow and make sure that I change lives.
I love that, but I want to correct something just a little bit. You said you don't have to be an important person, but you are an important person. Every person on here is an important person. And you, even though you think, oh, well, so-and-so successful, they're important. So-and-so speaking, they're important. You're important, and you're here for a purpose, every single one of you. And pat yourself on the back because you're getting up and thriving every day, and you're sharing that because you know, and I always say, don't be selfish and keep your Thrive all to yourself, because you know there are people that can't get out of bed right now and need this. And so just I applaud you for that, for continuing. And I'm so glad that you made it to Palooza, even though all
I
of
am
that
too.
was on top of you, and demotivating for a moment. So I'm super excited for you to continue. We have a little surprise. Chastity Marie is on, and she's gonna kind of share real quick, and then we'll just close this out. If any of you that are speakers had any last minute things to say, you can just raise your hand or tap the mute thingy after Chas is done. Chastity, are you there?
Right. Well, I just, it's so exciting to continue to hear all of the stories, all of the things coming back from Palooza. But I do want us to keep in perspective how this is not just the industry, but it is part of life. I used to hear people say in this, when we first started in the industry, you got to shower, you got to brush your teeth. I'm like, well, duh. Like, nobody tells you that in corporate America. But in this industry, we are in sales. We are in sales, and my friends, sales is hard, but we are selling something to the masses every single day. And so we have to understand that we have a product that works and an opportunity that works. I was talking to Amber as we were preparing for something there this weekend. And I said, for 10 years, we have been a team that has always had somebody representative on the stage, whether that is a GOAT award. Props to our GOAT winners. Like, that's amazing. They didn't have GOAT awards when we started. They didn't have a lot of these awards when we came in. And so, to see our team continue even through the peaks and valleys to be represented on the stage, new millionaires, that is just a phenomenal thing. And what I can say is that looking at what is to come, the future, looking at the bonuses that they're looking to assign to these compensation plans, looking at what they've got in their forefront in the mind, guys, this is an opportunity that can really change the landscape of your family forever. And it is one person. I sat down last night and had dinner. I actually missed our corporate call. I had to get the recording because if you know that this team that's still a multi-million-dollar organization, started when I said yes, and I had 10 people that I went after and said, hey, I know what you need. And 8 people said yes. 2 of those people have still, like Amber said, have still said yes, or yet to say yes. But one of them that was started with me 10 years ago, massive team, but then just kind of, she's been using the product for 10 years, but just doesn't talk about it, doesn't do anything. But I've reached down deep in her organization. I told her last night, I said, a couple of your girls in your team are just like, they're my people, like they're family of choice for me now. And so I've worked with them. They've continued to grow. And she said, I'm ready to get back and do the dang thing. And so, what I said to her was, how you start is the way you started 10 years ago. You put those capsules in you, put them on the nightstand, and put them out to the world. In you, on you, out there. In you, on you, out there. That's what you do. You get them in you, get them on you, and get it out there. And that's how you continue to grow. And I would say, Danielle, there's nobody, if they're honest, in this business that hasn't had those ups and downs, and maybe that feeling of defeat. I would consider myself an OG. I've been here 10 years, and now seeing a lot of the newer people that come in, and they're hitting these amazing things, and their teams have momentum. Easily that comparison can creep in, but I have to go back and look at what we've done, the hundreds of thousands of people that have come in and said yes to their health and yes to their wealth. And then it's that mindset that you have to renew. You have to renew your mind every single day. Every single day, it's a renewing of your mind. So, I'm just so proud and so excited to hear all of the things. Don't leave it here. Don't leave it in this week, because we're going to do this. We're going to do this up and down and up and down. But we have to decide that we are going to make the decision to every day renew our mind with gratitude, renew our mind with opportunity. And if you haven't sent those messages out, Amber probably can send the little script in the thing here. She sent me a message and she said, I don't know if you've heard about this promo. And I'm thinking, yes, I've heard about this promo, but it was great for me to tweak and just send to the other people. Here's the thing. If they don't want to reply, if they think, oh, I haven't heard from Chas and here she is sending me this message, that's a big fat lie, because I reach out. I love on people. I don't have anybody in the organization that I feel like I've, I don't know that I've blocked anybody. And so, I'm like, hey, this is going on. If you're interested, we can kick you off again. And I'm going to tell you, the best The best, funnest people are the ones that already know the product and already understand this business. So send that message out there. I will say my girl that just came back, she sent me some messages of the people she's been sending. And we're talking about people that haven't been thriving for 7 years. And I'm like, you go, girl. I'm like, go ahead and be 200K tomorrow. But it's because she was sending those messages and she detached her emotion from it. All she did was say, hey, this promo's going on. I've been thriving, but I'm kicking it back off. I don't know how long it's been. And many of them were like, I haven't thrived in years. And literally, she's positioning herself to get people coming back with her. So anyway, I'm proud of y'all. I'm so proud of Carol and Stacy. We won't go into all of that, but watching y'all, navigate the whole award thing. And it just was so cool how, Stacy, you wound up having the honor and being honored on stage by yourself, not even in a group. And I believe that's being set apart for such a time as this. So I love it. And so true what you said about Carol and the one Danielle and, the girls that spoke today. Thank you for saying yes and getting out of your comfort zone. Y'all, yes. And Katie's little group, I loved watching their community and how they loved on each other. I think they made the fan page and they're all their cute little outfits. So anyway, thanks, Amber, for having me on. And I'm just excited to continue to flow into this momentum that we've got going.
Thank you. You pointed out we didn't have the GOAT award when we were kicking this off for the first several years. We didn't have these bonuses either. So for those of y'all that are killing it, crushing it, getting these bonuses, like, hey, so yeah, for real. So make sure that you are running with this, running after this, utilizing today's promo. Guys, this QV boost is crushing it for people. Like utilize. Send the message. Even if, somebody hasn't ordered in a while, send the message. I sent the message to a couple of people today that they were like, oh my gosh, you know what? I totally am missing my Thrive. Thank you so much for sending me the message. I didn't get the email. So just remember, not everybody gets the email. Somebody did tell me today, yes, I get the emails. I was like, well, I just want to make sure you saw it. And then I moved on about my business, right? Okay. So any last minute, if you have any last little tidbits you brought back, unmute real quick or just shake your head no at me. It's fine. No. All right. I can't see Carol. She's off screen on my screen now, but all right. Thank you so much, guys. We are having more of these. Our next one is tomorrow, Thursday. Okay. Yes. Tomorrow night at 5:30. Y'all, I can't keep up with days. This is back to the beginning of going crazy. Okay. And then Friday at 12. And then we're going to have some next week as well. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Have a great evening. And thank you so much, ladies, for sharing.